Knicks Nation, we are here. It is the Eastern Conference Finals. Listen, man. Will we continue to upset the apple cart? We got a lot of haters, a lot of ops picking against us. Will Jalen Brunson get into his bag the way he did last year? OG-Anunoby, can he duplicate another defensive stellar performance and lock down Pascal-Siakam? Miles Turner, is he food? I think so. Karl-Anthony Towns, Bodega Cat. You see the merch. We're going to talk about why the New York Knicks, in my opinion, will crush the Indiana Pacers. I'm going to give you 10 reasons. So make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend we're live. And let's get this show started just like this. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Karan Pierre, the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you guys know the vibes, man. Listen, I got a special show for you guys today. We have one day out. I made sure I dropped it the day before. So we got some time to really game plan and assess why our boys in orange and blue will get the job done. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Hold on. Okay, it's on. Okay, cool. I thought it was off. Got to make sure I got the blue light. Listen, man, I am very superstitious. This hat right here, this same hat right here, this one right here, this is my game day hat. All right? This is my game day hat. I will wear this hat every single game day. I wore it for game 6, right? I started a new tradition. I had another hat, get it out of here, threw it across the room. Don't want to see it again. But I want to give a big time salute to all the members in attendance. This is a members only live chat, but everyone could watch, right? So I want to be focused. I'm going to go in. I got 10 reasons. And members, feel free to leave comments and chats anytime you want to. I want to give a big time salute to HRM the Great and Knicks will be champs 25-26. What's up? Hopefully you guys are excited. I'm pumped up. I mean, this series right here, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but this is the series I always wanted. I said, I need my lick back. I need my lick back. And by the way, guys, if you are listening to the show and you, feel free, you can still watch, if you're not a member, make sure you hit that like button. Definitely got to keep the likes up. We want to make sure all of the fans see this. And also, I want the Indiana fans to see this too, because we got a whole bunch of Indiana fans hating right now. They mad because they know their time is coming. They know, listen, I know they don't like New York either, but their time is coming. And listen, I am very excited for it. But I see you, J-Tap, Knicks in 5. My official pick, I want to say, J-Tap, I want to say Knicks in 5. But my official pick is Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6 only because Indiana, they're a good team. Indiana's a good team. Listen, I can't front on them. Trust me, I want to. I don't like Indiana. But I am the objective fan. So when you guys come to the channel, you guys know I'm not going to just give you fluff. I'm going to give it to you the real raw deal. All right? So I want to start off by, I go into research mode. Go into research mode. Pow. Okay, cool. So right now, the Knicks coming into this series, a lot of people who weigh the regular season, the Knicks are 2-1. So you would think the same people who picked Boston against us because they swept us would pick us because they won the regular season series. But all of a sudden, the regular season series doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you right now, in my 10 reasons why we're going to cook the Pacers, one of my reasons is not because we won the regular season. There's no direct correlation between the regular season and postseason. And I think it applies to this series even more than any other series. And that's because in this series, right, in the regular season, every game there was a key player out. Everybody missed a game. In every single game, there's a key guy out. From Mitchell Robinson, OG-Anunoby missed a game. Nembhard, Nesmith missed a game. Both teams had a lot of injuries, coming into these games. So I'm watching the games, and I'm like, damn, there's no way the playoff games are going to be played like this. So I just clicked it off. I said, there's no reason to go backwards in time, right? The game is going to be different. One thing I do know is that the Pacers, just like us, red hot towards the end of the season. So you gotta treat them as a live threat. We can be very confident, Knicks Nation, and trust me, I'm very confident. But they are a real live threat. Right now, coming into the series, I think this is game one. I got on the screen right here. So game one, we are a -4.5. So the bookies have us as a favorite, which is a good sign, even though it doesn't matter. I mean, we defied the odds in the last round. The Boston Celtics were a -800 coming into the series, and they had an 88% chance of winning the series as well, according to the odds makers. But I'm going to say this. Usually the bookies are right. So I'm going to take heed to what the bookies are saying now, because I think they're seeing what I'm seeing. While, yes, the Pacers are a good team, the Knicks, to me, are still a better team, right? And I'm not just saying that. I'm gonna go through that in a second. So 150 as well. That's not on the screen. But we are a -150 to win the series. I didn't see the ESPN list, because ESPN has the expert list. But we don't need it, because they wrong anyway. Because last round, not one expert picked us to beat the Celtics. No, one expert did pick us. Can't remember his name. Damn, what's his name? He's like a foreign guy. I can't remember his name. He has a foreign name. So anyway, nonetheless, he was the only one out of 14 experts. So their opinions don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. It is what it is with that. Some of the bright spots for us coming into the series is health. Not one of my 10 reasons, but I think even for them, yes, they still got Wiseman and the Jackson kid, the young phenom they missed the entire season. They out for the season. But everybody else that got them to this point are still there, right? So health is availability is your best ability still. Mitchell Robinson, new to the fray, right? He wasn't there for last year's playoffs, and he wasn't there for this year's regular season. He will be here for this year's playoffs, and I think he will make an impact. And we're going to touch on a lot of those things. OG-Anunoby looking very good. Salute to Casey Smith, because Casey Smith, in my opinion, got these guys firing off at all cylinders. Talked about the odds. Also, another bright spot for me is that the Knicks faced tougher opposition. Coming to the series right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Pacers beat up on them. Garland missed the first 2 games. They lost the first 2 games, and you clearly could see that Cleveland struggled. Sorry, y'all. Got a message. Cleveland struggled, right, against the Pacers, because they needed that other ball handler, right, that on an all-star level. Ty Jerome did have a good game, but he was up and down in the series. And the great Kenny Atkinson, right, head coach of the year, the regular season champions, I felt like he dropped the ball on not playing Ty Jerome in the first half of the last game where they got cooked at home. But anyway, nonetheless, they went up against a hobbled Cleveland team. We beat the defending champions. And once again, I didn't get a chance to record the Unfiltered Thought. I'm probably going to do it tonight. I'm going to record that tonight. The Unfiltered Thought will be why the Jason Tatum excuse is just not a good excuse. You cannot say that we won the game because Tatum was hurt. I'm probably going to do a 30-minute joint on that. But so we beat the Celtics, the defending champions. We also beat a feisty young Detroit Pistons team that, to me, had way more fire and grit in them than the Milwaukee Bucks, who, once again, did not have Dame Lillard. Now, look, to bring it back to the health as a bright spot, this is survival of the fittest, right? So that's what it is right now. All the teams you see now, all are healthy. So if you're not healthy, that's not an excuse for me. You just got cooked. See you next year. Tough cookie. Another major key for me is Tyrese Halliburton. I call him major disappearing acts. While he is fantastic, very efficient, league leader. I think he might be a league leader in the playoffs in assists, right? Averaging 9 assists a game. He definitely disappears when you need him the most. He had a 0-point game the first game of the regular season. Once again, I'm not saying the regular season matters, so that means he's going to score 0 in the playoffs. No, I'm just saying that he has moments where you need him and he disappears. Even in the Cleveland series, he had 2 games where he didn't play well, right? So Tyrese Halliburton disappearing acts, I expect it to come. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to have a good series. I think that would be foolish, but I could see you getting some wins because he's not up for the task, right? He's not up for the task, right? Let's see. So that's my bright spots. I have concerns. I'll get to them later. I do want to talk about the goals of the Indiana Pacers offense, and then I'm going to jump into the 10 reasons, right? Let's make sure I didn't miss everything in this introduction. So the Boston Celtics are similar to the Indiana Pacers are similar to the Boston Celtics, except for the quantity of threes, right? Indiana, they will attack the basket. If they got an opportunity to get a layup, they're not going to settle for bad threes or just for threes because they want to shoot threes, right? So they're searching for mismatches, right? They're mismatch hunters just like Boston. I think that Boston is a little better at it because all 5 guys for the Celtics are set screens, right? So let's say you got Brunson on Holiday. Holiday's going to set screens. Indiana doesn't really do guard-to-guard screens like that. I mean, they do it at times, but their screening roles come from the big men. Siakam, Thomas Bryant, Miles Turner. That's who sets screens. The Pacers are also another thing too. Like they probably play the least ISO ball, right? They're more team system oriented than any other team. That remains in the playoffs for sure. But even just in the league period, like they're very system oriented, right? You got your playmakers, your pick and roll ball handler, which is usually Tyrese Halliburton or Nembhard if he's at the 1, or TJ McConnell, right? Nesmith and Mathurin can create offense for others. Nesmith, not as much, right? He does create offense sometimes, but he's more of most of his baskets, and most of everyone's baskets on Indiana are buckets that are assisted on. But Mathurin and Siakam can do a little ISO in the system, right? But they don't run a lot of ISO. They run a little ISO. They freelance. So usually when Siakam, Siakam doesn't really screen. Well, he can. Siakam does use the screen sometimes with Turner. That's a rare occurrence. Siakam does more screening than he does coming off the screen. But he and Mathurin can look for one-on-one opportunities going towards the basket, right? So that's the philosophies of pace and space system, right? And they're probably the only team in the league where everyone is a threat to shoot the 3 ball. Okay, they're a threat for everyone to shoot the 3 ball. By the way, if you just joined this stream, this is the 10 reasons why the Knicks are going to smash the Pacers. I didn't get into my reasons yet. I'm just doing an introduction. I just want to talk about the Indiana Pacer offense, right, and their philosophies. Same way I broke down Boston, right? Because I watched so much Boston, but I watched a lot of Indiana recently, and I just went through all my notes of all the games I watched from them. And basically, I'm just summing up their offense. Like, that's the goal of their offense. Very structured. They don't really go outside the script unless Halliburton wants to take over, because Halliburton, he will then, freelance and just start bombing threes. Or if he uses the screen, he'll start using the screens to shoot deep threes, which is not all the time, but he has spots where he's aggressive like that. J-Tap says, unfiltered thought, why Halliburton really is overrated. Ooh. J-Tap, you want me to go there? I like how J-Tap, I know y'all don't want to hear this, but I like Halliburton as a player, not as a Pacer. I don't like the Pacers, but I like his game. So I don't really think he's overrated like that. I think that because to be honest, who rates Halliburton higher than what he is? I don't know. I mean, Is he a top 3-point guard in the East? I don't know. Because you got Brunson. Ooh. Trae Young. Dame. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think Halliburton's overrated. I don't know. But maybe I'll consider it, J-Tap. I'll consider it. So they want to exploit mismatches, like I said. So here's another thing to consider too. So when Miles Turner or Siakam sets the screen and they decide to roll, or even if they pop, because Miles Turner can pop as well. Miles Turner and those guys, they are a threat to pass the ball. I've seen them do it a lot where you blitz the pick and roll for whatever reason, or you bring help, and now Obi-Toppin gets a lob dunk. So when they set and pick and roll, they got live dunkers in the dunk spot, especially when Obi-Toppin's in the game. And they're getting a lot of threes on the elbows and below the break. A lot of their threes come from elbow below the break. So, and mostly all the other guys that are not Siakam and Turner, because when they pop out, a lot of their threes come from the top of the key. Everybody else is on the elbow, so they got plenty of spacing. Plenty of spacing. So usually, if you have to help on Miles Turner, it's a dunk. So, and that's going to be one of my keys, is it has to deal with that point exactly. But I'm just trying to give you a feel for the Indiana Pacer offense. Now, TJ McConnell, he's like a poor man's Tony Parker. He dribble in the paint. He'll dribble in the paint, dribble out. Not really aggressive 3-point shooter, though. I do got his numbers here. I think he's shooting. Let's pull it up. Oh, you know, I could put it on the screen too. I'm in research mode. I got it right here. So, you know, you guys know I got a million notes, right? You guys know that. Anyway, so look. TJ McConnell, he's getting, he's not really shooting the three. Look, he's getting just under a 3 a game. He is shooting 50% when he shoots it. But TJ McConnell, he can shoot the 3. He just likes to dribble, drive into the paint, manipulating off the pick and roll, trying to get your big man off balance, looking to pass, or even looking to score in the paint, right? So, and Nembhard does a little bit of both, right? Nembhard is another guy that has the green light at times. I'm going to talk more about Nembhard and those guys. I'm just trying to give you a feel for what it's looking like. They have a high assist percentage. I think 68% is their assist percentage. So a good amount of their buckets come off assists. 3 balls, dunker spot passes. Like I said, they're not like the Celtics. Celtics is going to settle for 3s and then ISO you to death with Tatum and Brown. They're not running ISO like that. Sometimes, like I said, Siakam with freelance, Benedict Mathurin with freelance, sometimes. Okay? And then in the clutch, Halliburton, he's not on Jalen Brunson's level, but he has some clutch buckets. He definitely has clutch buckets. He actually has a game winner in the postseason as well. So that's why J-Tap, I don't want to say the man's overrated, because I think he is a good player. I really do. And I don't overrate. I don't see, like, it's not like you telling me he's the best point guard in the East. How many people really feel like he's the best point guard in the East? Maybe they are saying that. I don't really see that. So the Pacers also play at a very fast pace. I'm going to talk about pace. And I'm going to also break down what pace is, because I think people confuse pace with fast breaks. 2 different things. I'm going to touch more on that. They also got a deep bench, but in the postseason, I don't care about the bench. I don't think the bench is a deterrent. It's not one of my concerns. I think that, at this point in the season, this is survival of the fit. Only, what did Mobb Deep say? Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. Living this till the day that I die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. That's just where we are in the postseason. So I'm not worried about bench. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not. You gotta worry about the bench. I don't think the bench is gonna be that much of a factor. I really don't. And to be honest, Benedict Mathurin is a problem. but Mitchell Robinson might be the best bench player in the series. Not from a stats perspective, unless you're looking at plus minus, but defensively, he controls the game better on an individual level. What he brings to a lineup, I don't think no one else in the playoffs does it, especially right now in the play. But I'm just saying, period, like Mitchell Robinson's impact on defense is phenomenal. Like, it's off the charts. So we probably have the better bench like players, even though they got more bench players, if that makes sense. You know, and Deuce McBride has been balling. If Deuce McBride comes into this series, once again, like he had the Peyton Pritchard challenge. This is what I'm talking about, tougher competition. So now you get into the TJ McConnell challenge, which he's still a good player, but I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Okay. And like I said, Miles Turner is a big who's capable of picking and popping, just like Pascal Siakam. But like I said, guys, if you just joined the stream, and even if you're not a member, this is a members-only chat. You could actually join the channel and join the chat if you like. But guys can still watch, and make sure you hit that like button and still subscribe if you're not subscribed. Right? This is one of my members-only joints. I'm trying to move fast. I don't want to make the video too long, so that's why I'm doing it, to keep the chat controlled, because sometimes I get lost in the chat. All right, so I'm gonna jump into my first reason. All right, and like I said, I'm gonna get to my concerns later. So, and I'm gonna put this on the screen. Do I got the article here? Okay, cool. So, salute to everybody that was on the podcast yesterday. I actually talked about this yesterday. This was what the flagship topic on yesterday's pod was: why history, right? This is my first reason. History leans towards the Knicks. Why do I say that, right? And I went through some of the historic series in the 94 series. To me, 94, that was the year where we dropped the ball. Where I felt like 94 was our best time to actually win the championship. Right? To actually win the championship. I'm going to touch more on that. But do you guys remember the 94 pit? If you go back that far, we won it in 4-3. And it was a tough series, but it took us to the finals where we went up against the Rockets. And then 99, how many of you guys remember 99? 8th seeded Knicks, beating everybody, upsetting the apple cart. We won this series 4-2. Okay. And then, in 94, we were the favorite to win. Just for the record, we was the favorite to win in 94. They were the favorite to win it in 99. They were also the favorite to win it in 2000, right? How many of you guys remember the 2000s, right? With Ewing, right? And sad. This was the last we seen of Ewing in the Knicks uniform. And we couldn't get the job done. But we still took them 6 games. If that means anything, right? And both of us at this point was fighting for a position because Michael Jordan retired. Now, one thing I pointed out yesterday, what all of these series has in common, of course, the Knicks got 2 out of the 3, right? Which is a major thing, right? Props to us for winning more of the series that went to the conference finals. But the favorite, right, won the series twice. And when you go back to 94, we were the favorites to win in 94 because that bald-headed guy out of Chicago, he retired, right? And we were able to get past the Bulls. I'm not saying that the Celtics and Jason Tatum are on the level of Jordan and the Bulls, okay? So let's just establish that fact, right? I feel like my mic is too loud. Let's just establish that fact, right? That I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that 94 is the last time we defeated a defending champion. Salute to the boys in orange and blue for accomplishing a feat that we hadn't done since this year. Hadn't defeated a defending champion in the postseason since then. Usually when that bald-headed guy out of Chicago is not in the picture, we go to the finals. That's just how it is. It is what it is. When he's not there, we go to the finals. So Boston, who has been dominant and dominating the Eastern Conference. I mean, conference finals, 2 finals, winning 1 finals. They're out of the way now. We are the best team in the Eastern Conference. By the way, J-Tap, I do got an unfiltered thought I'm going to do on that. So we got, this is like our Jordan, even though they're not on Jordan's level. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying, we're the best team in the Eastern Conference. And I think we were going to be the best team in the Eastern Conference next year as well. Oh, you know what? Let me write that down. I'm going to do an unfiltered thought too. There's another unfiltered thought. I got to do like 5 unfiltered thoughts. So y'all going to see a lot of unfiltered thoughts this week. Okay. All right, cool. So history is on our side because when we got rid of Jordan, or even whether we beat him or not, the bottom line is he wasn't there. We got past the defending champions. We went to the finals. I think the same thing happens this time, especially since we're the better team. That's another thing I didn't mention. I'll mention it now. I forgot to mention. There's so much I want to say, but I don't want this show to be too much longer than an hour. Because I really want people to come back and watch this and you know, get the most out of it, right? We are a better team than the Indiana Pacers. We are a better team. So, like, when they say, oh, their bench is better than yours, okay. Our starters is better than theirs. I mean, who's going to be in the game most of the time? It's the postseason. You're talking about bench, that's a regular season thing. Postseason is about the starting 5. As long as we got a healthy starting 5, survival of the fit, how can we lose to the Pacers? Remember what we did to them last year, since we're talking about history. And yes, I know if you want to look at the totality, we played them 8 times. They beat us 5-3. Okay, so what? So what? What does that mean? Another thing too, right? Since I'm on history, and I'm going to get back to the starting lineup. Most of the series, I'm going to say it like this. Only 2 of the series that we've seen Indiana, either team got cooked. So in 93, we won 3-1. And in 98, they won 4-1. Every other series has gone 6 or 7 games. Or 5 games, right? 6 or 7 games or 5 games. Let me see. This is double check. No, 7 games. Okay. So besides those 2 series, in 93, 3-1, and 98, 4-1, every other series has gone 6 or 7 games. So we get into battles with this team, right? That's just the history of the matter. That's why that's the reason why I'm saying Knicks in 6. That's the reason why I'm saying Knicks in 6. By the way, I see you, coach, in the building. Salute the coach. Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. How you feeling, coach? Oh, and by the way, Knicks will be champs. I seen you said that Mitch is an underrated perimeter defender. I'm gonna let you live with that. I don't want to challenge that because you know what? He's done a great job. A great job in the playoffs. Historically, he wasn't that good, but maybe that's something he worked on. Let me see. Knicks will be champs. The reason New York didn't beat Houston because Indy pushed them to 7 games. Ooh, okay. That's an interesting take. And we were, I'm not going to say a big favorite, but we were favored to win. We probably should have closed it out in 5 or 6 games. But look, this Indiana Knicks, I mean, it just has so much history to it that even if it should be a 4-1, it's going to go 6 games. It's going to go 7, you know? And so I just expect them to get, I think they could get 2 games. My heart is telling me 5 games, but I think they could get 2 games. So to bring it to the starting lineup, when you look at the matchups, and I know basketball is not played this way, but there's still value in having better players on the floor, right? Like if you see better players on the floor, then good things should happen. See what happened with Boston, right? You could ask yourself a question. Did Boston really have the better team or had the better starting lineup? Because I'm taking Brunson over anybody on Boston, right? And I love Towns at the 5. Towns is the best big man in that series. So when you look at the Pacers, we got the best point guard. We got the best center, even though their point guard and center is good. We eclipsed them there. Now in the middle, I'm taking Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart over Nesmith and Nembhard. I'm sorry. Those kids are talented, but I'm taking them. And then OG Pascal, I'll give them the edge with Pascal only because he's an all-star. But OG to me, and I'm going to get to OG in a second, okay? I trust me. But that's my first reason. And like I said, I touched on this on the pod yesterday too. If you want to, go check out the pod. The whole pod wasn't about this. There's a whole bunch of topics on there. Definitely go check it out. But I'm going to keep the show moving. I'm going to get to number 2. So the first reason was the history I think is on our side. Last time we defeated the defending champions, we went to the finals. And I think that we're in that same position. Okay. Now, my second reason why I think the Knicks will win is I don't think they're going to let the other guys beat them. You cannot allow the other guys to beat you. Who are the other guys? I'm going to put them on the screen. Right? I talked about them briefly earlier, but when you look at the postseason, right, and I'm going to sort it by points. So I'm not looking at the top 3 guys. Siakam, Halliburton, Turner. We could throw Turner in there if you want, but to me, Turner, he's a top player on this team, and he could beat you, right? He has the potential of doing good things, and I'm gonna talk more about Turner later. But when I'm talking about the others, I'm talking about Nembhard, Naismith, Benedict. Let me see how this looks on the screen. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Hold on, I could zoom in a little bit. No, I didn't mean to print. Hold on. How did I open up the printer? That's crazy. Hold on. Control plus. Okay. Let me see. Okay. All right. That's good. You guys get good like this. Okay, cool. So I'm talking about Nembhard, right? Who's averaging 14.6 points per game in the postseason. And I believe he's up. So Nembhard is plus 5 right now, plus 4.6, right? He was averaging 10 on the season. He's upped his game to 14.6. Aaron Nesmith is another one. On the season, he was averaging 12 points a game. He's up. He's now up to 14.5. No, 14.6 as well, right? Benedict Mathurin, who honestly is, at times he looks like he's the third option on the team. He's not though, but Benedict Mathurin, who was giving you 16, right? And well, he technically was the third option, but even though Turner to me is really the third option, but during the regular season, Benedict Mathurin was averaging 16 a game. He's down from 16 to 10, right? However, against the Knicks, this brother takes his game to another level, right? So as you can see here, he's averaging, in the last 10 games against the Knicks, he's averaging 19.8 points. He's shooting 49% from the field and 45% from 3. I understand that Halliburton, Siakam to me is their best player, and Miles Turner are the top 3. This kid right here is the number 1 dude I'm scared of. I'm telling you right now, this kid right here is somebody who has a history of torching us. And I think we have to be careful with him, right? He also, this was back in the November 10th game, right? Which was a game he actually started because in that game, Naismith and Nembhard sat out. He had 38 against us. He also had 8 rebounds, and he shot 13 of 18 from the field, including 7 of 9 from 3. So this kid, this season lit us up. He has a tendency, okay, to have good games against the Knicks. 18, 38, this is the game I'm talking about right here. 20, and then he had a 4-point game. This, okay, he had one bad game, but then 20, 26, 17, 20. Kid is a baller, man. You can't allow this kid to beat you. He comes in the game, he's like their 6th man. He's coming in the game for one purpose only. He's coming in to get buckets. He's coming in to get buckets, okay? You can't allow these guys to beat you, and I think that the Knicks will hold the fort. I think we know that these guys are more than capable. And then T.J. McConnell's another guy that has good games against the Knicks. He's a pest defender. He's going to guard Brunson 94 feet. He and Nate Smith or Nembhard, those three guys usually guard 94 feet. So, T.J. McConnell, like I said earlier, he's like a poor man's Tony Parker. He's going to dribble in the lane. Nembhard does a little bit of everything, and he's their top defender. But he can go off. And remember, he hit the three last year. I think that was game 3 last year in the playoffs to save Indiana's season because they were cooked. We had them on the ropes. And, of course, OG got hurt. Neither here nor there. The bottom line is Nembhard is another guy who is known for making big shots. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And Nate Smith is another guy who the overwhelming majority of his buckets is assisted on, but he can hit the open three. Let me see. Nate Smith is, let's put it on the screen. I'm in research mode. I ain't just got to read it off. So Nate Smith, and I'm sorry if it's small. I got to figure out how to get it more zoomed in next time. Next time I do one of these shows. Anyway, but I still read it out. So Nate Smith in the postseason, he's getting 5 3-point attempts a game. He's making 2.7, and he's shooting 48% from 3. Okay? 52% from the field. And like I said, he's averaging 14.6. His numbers are up, and because he's getting assisted on. Remember, their assist percentage is 68%. So all of these guys are getting good looks from Halliburton, and I'm going to talk more about that later, but that's my second key. All right? Let me see who else is joining the building. Salute to everybody that's watching. This is the 10 reasons why we'll beat the Knicks. I'm on reason number 2. I'm moving, I'm cooking, I'm moving, shaking, and popping. Let me see. Where are we on time? Salute to everybody that just joined the building. Okay. Cool. Hey, I'm not recording. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm recording now. All right, cool. I know I'm live. All right, no problem. So let me see. Salute to everybody that just joined, right? This is a members only live chat. So you guys could become a member to join the chat. I do appreciate the membership. I'll talk more why you should join the membership and the perks you'll get from the membership. But definitely hit that like button though, because we still want people to see the content. I'm moving fast and I just want to, focus on the content. But I am looking at what the members are saying in the chat as well. So Coach I've been saying that Mitch is the backbone of our defense. No, that's a fact. I don't think no one could debate that. Even the people that wanted him traded, I don't think that they would debate that, Coach. J-Tap says OG was killing Indy last season in the playoffs. OG got hurt. The Knicks season was over. I'm going to get to that, J-Tap. Trust me. I'm only on reason number 2. Sam says I only like Obi. I forgot to add Obi. Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, Obi's having a good playoff. Damn. Why did I do that to Obi? Obi's having a decent playoffs. I mean, he's only shooting 33% from the line. He is shooting 51% because he's getting a lot of dunks. He's getting a lot of dunks. And he still ain't really, I mean, I'm going to keep it real, y'all. I'm not worried about Obi Toppin. As long as you, and I'm going to get to why I'm not concerned about Obi. Not to say that he's not a good player. I'm not trying to shade him. I know he was a Knick. These guys right here I said on the screen are bona fide assassins on Indiana, right? The Nembhards, the T.J. McConnells, the Benedict Mathurin, those guys, you got to be careful. They're not playing with you, all right? Obi, I forgot to mention him. He's a dunker threat. He's a lob threat. He still don't crash the glass, right? He still doesn't crash the glass. He doesn't really do nothing. He's still one-dimensional, right? I mean, that's the reason why he was traded. Not trying to knock the kid, but I'm just pointing out the threats. Just pointing out the threats, okay? I'm going to get to the third reason now, though. Let me keep it moving. So the third reason is dominating the rebounding matchup. And I'm going to go to the Knicks basketball reference to pull this up. So we know that the Knicks, if you look at their total rebounds, 42.6, that's 24th in the league. But they do a good job at the offensive rebound. Opponent rebounds. They limit the opponent from grabbing rebounds. Part of it is because we play at a slower pace, right? Part of it has to do with that, but we do a good job of dominating the rebounding matchup. DRM always is an important stat. Anytime I do a 10 reason, I'm gonna always go to DRM, dominating the rebounding matchup, right? Now the Pacers themselves on the regular season, they're not a good rebounding team either, right? But here's the key. They give up 45 rebounds a game. Do you hear me? So look, the New York Knicks are 35-10 when they dominate the rebounding matchup, meaning they get more rebounds than the ops. 35-10. That's a major advantage. I know I'm not going to reference the regular season too much because, like I said, when you look at the regular season, neither team was healthy every game. So you're not looking at the full picture when you watch the regular season. You get a little glimpse. But one of the things I think that will persist is the fact that in the regular season, the Knicks went 2-1, but they dominated the rebounding matchup in every game, including the game 1 blowout where we blew them out like crazy. The final score was 123-98, and we had a rebounding advantage of a plus 10 rebounding advantage. Okay, we completely dominated the glass. So that trend I think will continue, especially with Mitchell Robinson. Salute to Mitchell Robinson, with him now being in the lineup. Mitch, I mean, he like OG-Anunoby was last year. Mitchell Robinson has become the plus minus god. Okay, now let me just double check, make sure everything else. Now to bring it back to the Pacers, right? The Pacers give up 45 rebounds a game, which is crazy. When the Pacers give up 45 or more rebounds, they have a 20-21 record, right? We know that we're not grabbing 45 rebounds, right? So we're around the 43 rebound game. The Knicks average 43 rebounds per game against the Pacers in the regular season. And so when the Knicks get 43, when the Pacers give up 43 or more rebounds, they're 31-26. So they're beatable when they're giving up what they're giving up. And the fact that the Knicks were able to grab that's part of the reason why the Knicks won the regular season matchup. So once again, the regular season has nothing to do with the postseason except, so when we look at like preseason and regular season, I'm looking to see how the game is played. I'm not looking at we won and who scored what the amount of points. I'm looking at the dominance on the glass. That's why I don't even care about the rebounding total. I care more about plus minus, +8 on the glass, +5 on the glass, because that's going to tell me, who has been prolific in that area. So I think that trend will continue into this postseason. And I think overall we could also dominate the paint as well, to add that to it. The Knicks are a great paint team. The Pacers are good too because they get a lot of dunk opportunities, dunker spot opportunities, which is not just dunks, just ability to get layups and good 2-point shots, because everything they do is off the system, off of Halliburton, who is the best assist turnover ratio point guard in basketball. So he does a great job getting these guys shots. So the Pacers in the playoffs are also giving up 44.7 rebounds a game. So the Pacers are giving up a lot of rebounds, right? And that's including the Bucks, right? The hobbled Bucks. The Cavs average 45.8 rebounds against the Pacers. And also, here's another key thing about rebounding. The Pacers gave up 16 second chance points in the playoffs. That's free buckets. That's Mitchell Robinson right there. That's a lot of second chance points to give up. Now, rebounding is also important because it slows down transition. The Pacers want to run. I'm telling you right now, you have to find ways to limit their ability to run, because once they get rolling, they're not settling for threes. They're going to take the dunks and the layups. They're not like Boston. Oh, we're going to stop and kick it out hit the man in below the break on the sideline. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. These guys, they're going to take the right shot. They play basketball the way it's supposed to be played. That's why I'm not, my official pick is Knicks in 6 because I'm respecting the Pacers. They're not a bad team at all. And they're better than last year. And I'm going to get to that in a second. And of course, no Mitchell Robinson. We already know what Mitch is going to do. Mitch is going to take us to a whole nother level. Even though in the postseason, we're around, 43 rebounds? So we're averaging 43 rebounds in the postseason. So that's pretty much where we are. 42.6 to 43, that's our rebounding range. So he gave us 0.4 on the glass. I take it. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we know that we're better with Mitch in the lineup. Get to the fourth reason. By the way, like I said, keep the likes, get the likes up. Let me see what you guys talk about, members. Obi possesses a problem for the Knicks because of his athleticism. All right, Knicks will be champs. Yes, he can pose a problem, and yes, he could have a good game. I don't want to make it seem like I'm completely fronting on him. I'm only saying that he is relying on Halliburton to get him the ball, and he's relying on guys to get him the ball. So if the Knicks are going to play defense the way I think they could, it'll naturally limit Obi's opportunities because Obi's not going to get you 20 off the dribble, 20 in the post, 20 off a face-up. That's not Obi's game. Everything he does is off an assist, which usually is an open dunk or a spot up three. That's Obi's game. Nothing in between. Not trying to dump on Obi. Just keeping it real. says, I hate everyone else on the Pacers, the coaching staff, the execs, the history of the team. Oh, my God. Facts. I don't rock with the Pacers at all. And honestly, Boston is my number one team I just still like, but the Pacers are definitely number 2. When we go double big with the Pacers, will the Pacers go double big? Nah, they don't. That's rare. You'll never see Thomas Bryant with Miles Turner. Never happens. Another question, will Mitch get more minutes? Possibly. We got to see if they're going to implement the hack of Mitch. And salute to Maxine. I see you in the building. Maxine's in the chat. She's also in the room. Yeah. Blowing her up. Anyway, so let's see. Didn't just JB take the Pacers team? Yeah, just JB took the team to the thing. And that's another thing I could have went in on. That last year's team was hurt and we took them 7 games, I think that last year's team and this year's team is 2 different teams. So I think that this team is going to be better because of the injuries for last year. So that's why I kind of didn't even bring it up, to be honest. And also the Pacers are better than they were last year as well. And they got a kid, like I said, that kid Benedict Mathurin, who's averaging 19 a game against us in the last 10 games. He's a problem. Let me keep it moving though, guys. And keep the chats coming, members. And by the way, like I said, this is the members only chat, but you guys could also participate by hitting that like button, okay? And consider joining the channel too. Not just so you could join the chat, but we got some cool perks as well. Let's reset my clock. So, all right. So the next key to victory is going to be controlling the pace. What do I mean when I say controlling the pace? And I'm going to explain pace because I feel like people don't understand what pace is. And I could tell when they speak about it, and because they're not using it in the right context. So this is the Indiana Pacers basketball reference, right? As you can see here, they are 7th in pace, right? 99.9, okay? That's the amount of possessions. It's all about possessions. Estimate possessions per 48 minutes. That's all pace is. That's all pace. It's an estimate of possessions per 48 minutes. What does that mean? Okay. So in the NBA, pace refers to an average number of possessions a team uses per 48 minutes, serving as a measure to see how fast teams play. A higher pace indicates more possessions. more possessions, typically a faster tempo, while a lower pace suggests fewer possessions and a more deliberate style of play. Bingo. The Knicks have a more deliberate style of play. We value the possession. We look to take shots later in the clock, thus making us get less possessions, because if I'm Indiana and I'm scoring in 10 seconds and I'm the Knicks, I'm scoring in 16 seconds. Indiana, I'm going to get more possessions. That's all it is. Has nothing to do with fast breaks. Nothing to do with fast breaks. Now, fast breaks can help. You know, if you can get into a fast break more, it'll help give you more possessions. But as we know, fast breaks are on a smaller scale, right? You'd be lucky to get, 16, 15 fast break points in the game? Teams are not getting 50 fast break points most of the time. So fast breaks is different from pace. It's different from pace. It's a common misconception that a team with a slow overall pace can't generate many fast break points. In reality, pace measures the total number of possessions, not how quickly a team transitions from defense to offense. A team might play methodologically in the half court, but still capitalize on fast break opportunities when they arise. That's what the Knicks do. So the Pacers are very efficient in the postseason. I want to say we're a better half-court team, but the numbers kind of favor Indiana. Like if you're looking at 2-point shots, 3-point shots, like quality of shots, the fact that they run a pick and roll set, that is very, very solid, very good. And they got a guy who's a pop threat in Miles Turner. They got a good half-court set. I think that we have a really good half-court set too. I think the problem with our half-court set is that we don't get enough 1-5 pick and rolls. We get pick and rolls all the time. You've seen Hart setting them in the Boston series. We need some more Towns Brunson pick and rolls. I'm hoping that is the adjustment. But controlling the pace is simply not giving Indiana opportunities to score, because I'm telling you right now, and you can see it on the screen, the Indiana Pacers, right? They just like us. We both of us do a great job of protecting the ball. They average 13.2 turnovers in the regular season. We average 13.3 turnovers in the regular season. We right behind them. Like, it's funny, like the Knicks and Indiana are like very similar. Not in the way they play. I'm just in some of the numbers you'll see. So like we both protect the ball very, very well. The Pacers, however, they do a really good job at forcing turnovers, a little bit better than us, right? They force 15 turnovers a game, and that sets forth transition basketball fast breaks. See that? So they're forcing 15 turnovers in the regular season. In the postseason, the Indiana Pacers, they're still doing a good job protecting the ball, right? And trying to get, do I got the fast break points? 7th in pace. I just said it, right? Yeah, Pacers, yeah, okay. No, they give 16-second chance points. Hold on, give me a second, y'all. I'm going to put this on the screen. Let me put this on the screen. Screw it. No shortcuts. I'm in research mode. Let me put this on the screen. I'm going to show you fast break points. I'm going to show you in using like the actual stats of what's happening now. I'm going to show you what's going on, okay? So this is the regular season, right? So in the regular season, the Indiana Pacers are 5th in fast break points with 17.5. That's how many fast break points they get a game. The Knicks were 14th on the list, and they averaged 15.7. So the Pacers are only getting a couple of more fast break points per game than the Knicks. And the Knicks play at a slow pace, but they still top 14 in fast break points because fast break points has nothing to do with pace. I like the Knicks slowing the pace down because it's counter to what the Pacers want to do. The Pacers want to get up and down. Thus the name Pacers. I don't know if that was by accident. I don't know if that was on purpose or by accident. Their name is the Pacers. They want to play at a fast pace. We have to slow them down. That doesn't mean we don't run fast breaks. Okay? That doesn't mean we don't run fast breaks. Now let me bring up the postseason. Right? Postseason. So we can look at fast break points in the postseason. Okay? So in the postseason, hold on. That's preseason. Postseason. Okay, cool. Because I'm like, because I looked at the look. I was like, damn, people getting 24 fast break points, but this is preseason. Preseason doesn't count. So in the playoffs, right, the Oklahoma City Thunder ruled the world in fast break points. But look at the Indiana Pacers in the playoffs. Slow them down, even though they've been dominant and they've been playing really good in the half court. Not gonna lie, the Pacers have been looking really good in the half court. But they're only averaging 14.2 fast break points in the playoffs. We're averaging 13.4, right behind them. We right there. So yes, we're going to have opportunities to run, but I still think that in the half court at a slower pace, especially if the game is close, that favors Cap. So I think we need to dominate the pace. Of course, run fast breaks. Pace has nothing to do with that. Also, when we dominate the rebounding matchup, that limits possessions. Because now you're taking away, especially if you crash into offensive glass. Now that takes away transition opportunities. Another thing that you have to look at, though, the Pacers don't do it a lot. They can run on makes. I've seen them do that. But they're really a threat on misses and turnovers. Let me see what's going on in this chat. Pacers going to run small ball. With small ball, Knicks will be champs. Who's the small ball lineup? Siakam at the 5 with Obi? Because Bryant gets minutes, though. Bryant, hold on. The Bryant dude, what's his name? Thomas Bryant. Yeah, he's getting 9 minutes a game. Thomas Bryant gets 9 minutes a game. So, and remember, they're playing like, hold on, let's see how many people they play. Yeah, they're playing like, well, Shepard probably missed 2. I don't think Shepard was hurt. But Mathurin, I think he got ejected or something like that. Or was he hurt? He might have missed the game due to injury. I don't know. But they're playing like 11 guys, though. Shepard, Mathurin, all these guys get time. So when are they going to go small? And I honestly think that Thomas Bryant is another guy who was key to them because he had one game where he was looking like he was Miles Turner. He was hitting threes. He was popping. He was rolling, getting buckets in the paint, in the dunker spot. I was like, damn, they got Thomas Bryant out here looking like, he's an older Antonio McDyess out there. Pacers going to run the offense similar to what Detroit wanted to run. Pacers offense is way more dynamic than Detroit. I'm going to tell you like this. It's like the Celtics, except they don't have the ISO, the ISO capabilities that Boston has, and they don't run a lot of ISO like Boston, and they're not going to settle for threes. They're going to attack that dunker spot. They're going to get guys cutting into the lane. They shoot a lot of twos, too. Indiana is not just a jack 'em up threes team. So I think they're more similar to Boston than Detroit on the offensive end, if you ask me. I'm going to move to the next key. Offense is your best defense. I'm going to say it again. Offense is the best defense. What do you mean when you say that? Why do you say that? You got the best. You know what? Screw it. I know I'm the objective fan. We got the best player in the playoffs right now. I know SGA is the MVP. When you look at playoff numbers and what guys are doing, who's doing a better job than JB? They took the former defending champs 7 games, and yes, they blew them out in game 7, but we beat the defending champs in 6. And it should have been 5, but we beat them in 6. Not trying to throw shade to OKC, but I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it all the way real. Jalen Brunson, what he's doing, if we had a playoff MVP, he would be the unanimous playoff MVP. So when you got JB, and I'm going to talk more about JB later, the Pacers, okay, let me show you this. I'm going to put this on the screen. So I just want to show you guys how eerily similar the Pacers and the Knicks are. Let's make sure. Okay, cool. I just want to show you guys how eerily similar, right? So when you look at defensive rating, the Pacers is 13th, right? 114.3. Go to the Knicks, 114.3, 14th. So the Knicks and the Pacers, according to the regular season defensive rating stats, the same. We got the same level defense. Okay? In the regular season, Knicks Pacers had the same defense. I'm going to look into the postseason, right? Because the postseason is different from the regular season. Tell you, there's a lot of similarities between this Knicks and Pacers team. This is another reason why I think the series is going 6 games. I don't think it's going to end earlier. I think that this is going to be a fight, right? And trust me, I want to hate on them, but I'm objective, and I did my research. Pacers are better than a lot of you guys think. So everybody picking the Knicks in 5 or 4, I know y'all picking with your heart, and I hope it happens. I think the Pacers are better than that. Trust me, I don't like them either. I don't like them either, but they're a solid team. So look, we're going to look at the postseason, right? So now we're in the playoffs. Let's pull up the defensive rating. Okay. So Pacers has 111, right? 111.9. And the Knicks are 110.6. So the Knicks are slightly better defensively in the playoffs. And why that number... Because remember what I told you about the defensive rating, especially on the individual level. Defensive rating is it's a really great stat. It's one of the best advanced metric stat, but it doesn't account for a matchup. So if you play against the Brooklyn Nets and you play against another bad offensive team and your defensive rating is low, which is high, right? And I play against the Cavs, and I play against the Thunder, and our rating is the same, I'm the better defensive team because I went up against the tougher I went up against the tougher competition, and defensive rating by itself does not account for that. Hopefully, what I'm saying makes sense. Okay, so in the postseason, the Knicks have been the better defensive team, and of course, that guy Mitchell Robinson to bring it back to him. Right? And of course, on the offensive side, if you want to look at offensive rating, the Pacers, number 2 offense in the postseason. Knicks, our offensive production has dropped, but I do think that's because we went up against the better competition. We went up against the Boston Celtics, which was a top 5 defense. We went up against the Detroit Pistons, which was a 11th defense, 11th ranked defense. So we went up against better competition. They played against a Cavalier team that wasn't 100%. Mobley, Hunter missed game 2. Garland missed the first 2 games. A lot of those guys were like deers in headlights, never been there before. It is what it is. But the reason why I say offense is the best defense is because, one, the Knicks have, first off, the Knicks have no trouble with scoring against Indiana. That's one. In the regular season, we dropped 120 points a game against the Indiana Pacers. Granted, once again, I know no direct correlation between regular season and playoffs. I'm not saying we're going to average that in the playoffs. What I'm saying is, it's not about the average. It's about what the average is telling you. What it's telling you is that the Knicks have no problem scoring against Indiana. That's all. Forget about the points. We might not average that in the postseason. We don't have to. I want the game to be like the 90s, 93 to 92. I want it to be 95 to 96. That's how I want the scores. I don't want it to be 120 to 132, and I think that is going to be closer to the 90s or low hundreds than the 120s. But scoring, and I'm going to talk more about certain players later, but the Knicks also can play at a faster pace, right? If they wanted to. We seen it in the regular season, right? They matched Indiana's offensive output. Only the one game we lost where Indiana kind of ran on us later in the game. But we can do it. But I think that playing at a slower pace will benefit the Knicks. Now, like I said earlier, the Pacers, they need you to turn over the ball. Miss shots so they can get their offense rolling and rocking. Max, could you please stop? Could you please stop? Sorry about that. Max, he's distracting me. Anyway, bottom line is, almost lost my train of thought. I got it right back. You don't want to turn the ball over, right? You don't want to give Indiana opportunity. So by us being efficient with our turnovers and by us, dominating the rebounding matchup, some of the earlier keys, I think that it will also slow down the Pacers. So if we getting buckets and we scoring, the Pacers can't come back. So like when you watch the Cleveland game, right? The Cleveland Cavaliers, the great coach Kenny Atkinson, right? The great Kenny Atkinson, the guy all of us wanted the Knicks to sign, right? That brother made some key mistakes. One of the things I never understood was the Cavaliers dominated most of the first quarters, especially earlier in the first quarter. They would come out, pick and roll you to death. And this is why I want to see more pick and rolls from the Knicks. Allen and Mobley, elite pick and roll with Garland and Mitchell. Elite. They got the pick and roll arsenal that Cleveland has, elite. My thing is, they went away from that and thought they were the Boston Celtics. And because the Pacers started gaining ground, because they're missing shots, and now the Pacers are running in transition and getting good shots too, not just threes. And if they are getting them below the break threes, wide open. Not only just that, they getting dunks. Obi Toppin flying in out of nowhere. Is looking crazy out there. Even Halliburton, what game was that? Game 4. Game 4, Cavaliers, Pacers. Cavaliers just blew them out in Indiana. So how did they respond back? They started with a turnover and a Halliburton dunk. I said the game is over. Once I saw Halliburton get the turnover, they got the turnover, and then Halliburton gets a dunk, which you don't really see Halliburton dunking like that. I said the game is over because that's what happened. In that same game, the Cavaliers had 22 turnovers. You turned the ball over against the Pacers, you lost. So that's another reason why I'm like, hey, slow it down. Let's not try to get caught up playing Indiana's game, even though Cleveland plays at a faster pace as well. So offense is your best defense. And like I said earlier, the Pacers are top 5 in the regular season with fast break points, 17.5. And they also still top 5 in the playoffs with 14.2 fast break points. Good offense will limit that. They want to run on turnovers and off misses. Sometimes off makes, but mostly off of turnovers and misses. Let me get to the 6th one, but before I do, let me see. I got some good people in the chat. J-Tap says Halliburton was the most overrated by his peers, but who are these peers that vote? We don't know who these people are. So they got 150 players. Are these the top 150 players, or are these the bottom 150 players? I think that matters too. Do they have a good mix of guys? Is that sample a randomized sample that actually represents the league? Or is it just a bunch of guys they just asked? We don't know these facts. So that's why, to me, yeah, I mean, a lot of players are ishing on the, they taking a dump on the poll. So they're not rocking with the poll. Oh, by the way, salute to Keith Watkins from the ATL. Good to see you in the building, Keith. He says he's been waiting 30 years for this. Keith, I'm with you. I've been waiting 30 years for this. We really didn't have much of a chance against the Spurs in 99. Facts. To the point, Keith, in the first round, when we was in the 5th game, and I had a basketball tournament, I said, screw the Knicks. They going to lose. I doubted us. We were 8th seed. Turns out I was wrong. We went to the finals. Yeah, we had no shot. This is the closest we've been since 94. Yes, I talked about that earlier, Keith. That was my first reason, history. History's on our side. Okay, I read that. Let me see, Pacers style won't allow them to be a low-scoring series. Well, hold on. When you say that, You know what? I could do it. Let me put it on the screen. When you say that, I mean, they averaging 117 points in the playoffs. Yes. I mean, I hear you, Knicks will be champs. But I do think this is the conference finals. I think it's going to slow down. I get it. Hold on. Let me see something. I get what you're saying about the Pacers. They want to run. They know that that's their advantage. Right? They know that that's their advantage. 99.27. Is it the same? I think it's the same. What was they pace in the regular season? I'm not a stickler for that. I mean, their pace is still the same. They're playing at the same pace. They didn't really. I mean, it slowed down a little bit, not enough to be like it's a significant change. I just don't think that's going to win a championship. You know, I just don't think that is going to win a championship because you're going to have to value your possessions more. Let me see if I could put this on the screen. Because when you look at it, all right, I'm gonna get. It's going to be hard for you guys to see it, but I'm still going to put it on the screen. Hold on. I'm going to go to the game logs from the Cavaliers series. And once again, I'm not a box score warrior. I watched all of these games. So, yeah. I seen all of these games. So, in the game they lost to the Cavaliers still put up 126 points. That's crazy. But they only scored 104 points this game. And remember, this is the first game where Garland, Hunter, and Mobley played. So then the Pacers had to make an adjustment. That's one thing I give Rick Carlisle. Boy, that boy is an adjustment. That's one of my concerns. I'm going to get to my concerns a little bit later. But, yeah, the adjustments, oh, boy. That's – yeah, but, yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, I can't front. The Pacers, I mean, they've been – but, look, even against Milwaukee, look at the loss, 101. I think the Knicks can get them in the low hundreds, at least 1 or 2 games. In the regular season, we did it. Right? Once again, I'm not saying that regular season is a direct correlation, but the first time we saw them, we smacked them. So Indiana has these lapses. We could see from these series, right? This is their series against Milwaukee. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It probably looks crazy on your screen. Let's see. Oh, no, it looks good. Okay. So you guys can see what I'm looking at. When you look at the series with Milwaukee and with Cleveland, in each of these series, they laid an egg. They laid an egg, 101, 104. I don't know, guys. I just feel like, and on the Knicks side, of the house, I keep forgetting I'm in research mode. I could just put this on the screen. So on the Knicks side of the house, in the playoffs, we're averaging 106. Something's got to get, pressure burst pipes, man. You got 2 styles coming in. Knicks averaging 106, Pacers averaging 117. What happens when we collide? Knicks defense is really good. It's really good. You know, we had the 11th ranked defense post All-Star break. Defense is even better in the postseason. Knicks offense, by the way, offense is the best defense, right? Now we're going up against a weaker defense. The Pacers don't got the defense like Boston. We've been battle tested. And that's my next point. The Pacers defense is all right. Their defense is all right. Like I said, it's like our defense if you want to look at regular season numbers. We both rank what was the ranking? We both have a defensive rating of 114.3, right? Which is, top 15 in the league. They did a good job against the Cavs, right? But I think a lot of it was the Cavs just not really playing right basketball at time. I mean, you would think that the Cavs they dominated first quarters, especially the first half of first quarters. You would think that they would run pick and roll. If I was coaching, I'm running the same play until you stop it. But here's what's going to give me the edge. When you stop that play, I already thought about my next 5 to 10 plays. And I'm going to go down the line and see what works. And I'm going to continue exploiting the weakness And the Pacers, they don't have the defenders that Boston had. They don't have the aggressiveness that Detroit had. Now, they do got guys. Okay, so Naismith, Neihardt, TJ McConnell, solid on the ball defenders. They play hard. They don't have the size to disrupt Brunson. Those guys are around Brunson's height. They don't have the size. So, like, Brown, you've seen it in Boston where even though, Brunson was still cooking, but when they put Brown on Brunson, when they put size on Brunson, it made it a little difficult. But Brunson is still going to be Brunson. No matter who you put on him, he's going to cook them. Right? But I think that's going to go into the Knicks' benefactor. And I'm going to talk about Brunson in a second. But they don't got the defender. And then now, you got to guard Mikal Bridges in the low-mid post. Hopefully, he's going to operate there. Who's going to guard Mikal Bridges in the low-mid post? Josh Hart going to be running all over the place. And by the way, I know they're going to try to hide Halliburton on Hart. Brunson Hart pick and roll. Put Halliburton on the island with Brunson. I like the way that looks. Miles Turner is a really good shot blocker. He was averaging 2.5 blocks a game in the regular season. What's he averaging in the postseason? Hold on. This is totals. Let me scroll up. Yeah, it's 2 point. No, I'm on the Knicks. My bad. Let me go to Pacers. Okay, cool. So he's averaging 2.5 blocks. Oh, in the playoffs. Okay. So regular season, Turner's averaging 1.9. Okay. So he's 2 point. I'm in the wrong column. Let me get my life together. Oh, he's averaging 2 blocks in the regular season. Okay, cool. And then Miles Turner's averaging 2.5 blocks in the playoffs. So Miles Turner, definitely solid post defender. And Towns still cooked them. I'm going to get to Towns in a second. So they got some shot blocking presence. And the Pacers, by the way, they do a good job of blocking shots. In the regular season, they averaged 5.5 blocks a game. They were 6 in blocks. In the postseason, they're averaging 6 blocks a game. So they took their block total up. So they're prolific. In the regular season, they was averaging 8.5 steals. Turnovers, the turnover aspect. This is why the Knicks got to protect the ball. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, the Pacers, they're solid. I'm not going front on them. But they still giving up 47% from the field in the regular season. You could get buckets. The Knicks have no issues with scoring on the Pacers. Like I said earlier, the Knicks average 120 points against the Pacers in the regular season. So, defense is all right. Let me see what you guys talking about in chat. I'm going to move on. By the way, this is the 10 reasons why the Knicks will beat the Pacers. I'm not even sure what time mark I'm at. I'm just going to continue rocking and rolling. I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. HR, I'm the great. Salute to you. You say, I'm a little worried about them picking us up 94 feet. Okay. Josh Hart, he'll be the point guard, or Bridges. That's not a problem. Knicks will be chance says Knicks are going to get one win strictly because they outshot the Pacers. Of course. All right, so here's how I see the 4 wins going. I think that one of the games, the Pacers are going to lay an egg. You seen they laid an egg against Milwaukee. They laid an egg against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to lay an egg against us. That's one of their losses. I think the other 2 losses are going to be because we limited their possessions, dominating the glass. They're not getting in transition as much, not getting the possessions that's needed to really run that pace and space offense they like to run. So I think 2 of the games are going to go that way. And I think the 4th game is going to be grit, hard fought. Brunson has to hit a clutch shot. Cat has to hit a clutch shot. Mikal has to hit a clutch shot. I think that's how I foresee the Knicks getting that's how I see the games going. Carlisle is an excellent coach. Yes, that's one of my concerns. That is one of my concerns. Replace Detroit with the Heat, and this would have been a perfect championship run. Oh, Heat, Celtics, Pacers. Damn. HR the Great says more rebounds for us. Facts. Towns is a mismatch. I'm gonna get to Towns in a second. By the way, before I continue, since this is a members only show, right? I do want to show you guys what you get when you become a member if you guys decide you want to join the channel so you guys can take advantage of the chat. Not only do you get access to this chat, right? I got 2 packages on the channel. Starter Knicks fan, hardcore Knicks fan. I'm only going to talk about the Starter Knicks fan because it's a great place to start, right? So no matter which package you join, you will get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. 90% of the people you see that's chatting in the chat, they are in the Discord server. My man HIM, Keith, even though he's not that active in the Discord. Knicks will be Chance 2526. I mean, he's the brain trust behind a lot of the posts you see, right? J-Tap, all these guys are in the Discord. So the Discord server is not a free-for-all. It's a closed Discord server. It's great. It's a great way to extend the conversation with me. I'm in there. So we have 24/7 Knicks chat. We talk about all sports 24/7. And it's just a great place to be, right? It's one of the perks you get. Now, of course, it's not the only thing you get. We got the loyalty badges. Salute to the loyalty badges. Everyone that got a badge. Usually when I'm doing an open show, I look for the badges first because these are my peoples that rock with me, that support me. And that's another perk you get. Of course, this is a members-only live chat. I also do members-only shows. I haven't done a members-only show in a minute, but I do a lot more members-only chats. So you have to become a member in order to join the chats. So that's one of the perks you get, right? Because sometimes I want to be focused and I don't want to read the chat too much. Now, I have this special series I do, the Unfiltered Thought, and I do have status updates. That's member-only status updates. But one of the main things I do is the Unfiltered Thought series. I'm about to black out. I might do like 4 this week. I got like 4 unfiltered thoughts I got to do. I got to do this Jason Tatum one. I'm probably going to record that tonight, and I'm going to drop it tomorrow. The Unfiltered Thought series is just basically stuff I can't put on YouTube, right? Not necessarily that I'm swearing, but it's just stuff that's not for the general open YouTube, right? I go in, okay? And usually I record the videos at 3 in the morning. So yeah, that sets the tone and the mood. You could just imagine at 3 in the morning, you half tired, but you gotta get the content out. Yeah, it's kind of raw. Of course, members get shouted out. And another thing too, you're gonna get discount on the merch. Some of the merch, I do got it. Let me just make the screen bigger. You can see these right here. We got the Bodega Cat. We got the Captain 11. Not only do I got the hoodies, I got the t-shirts as well. Go to shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com or shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. You definitely could go there and take advantage of that. And that's what the membership will get you. Discount on all the merch and all the future merch that we're going to be coming out with. Okay. So I'm going to continue to move on. Salute to everybody that's joining. I see you, Maxine. Definitely smash the like button. No matter what you do, smash the like button. So, all right, let me get rolling, okay? So the defense is all right. Their defense is all right, right? I don't think their defense is going to be enough to stop what we want to do on the offensive end. Let me keep moving. So this is my 7th reason is I don't think the Knicks have a reason to double team them. There's no reason to double team the Pacers. If you have to double team Indiana, you're cooked because they have a 68% assist ratio, okay? That means the overwhelming majority of their buckets are assisted on. So you go ahead and you double them, they're going to pass the ball. They all can pass the ball. I mean, they run multiple actions. Their pick and roll is so dynamic. You'll see Halliburton coming off the screen to Miles Turner. Miles Turner can literally mid-dive, stop, pass the ball, because he's looking at that dunker spot. So anytime you playing pick and roll defense and you're getting beat on the roll, on that roll, man, you want to bring an extra dude. Big mistake. When you bring that extra dude, you're either going to get a below the break 3 or you're going to get a dunker spot lob. And that's how Obi Toppin is going to beat you. You cannot double team the Pacers. 68.9% assist percentage is the highest. And I could actually put it on the screen. Hold on. Oh, wrong browser. Hold on. 1 second. Got too many browsers on. Hold on. Let me just close this out. And I'm going to put it here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we look at the Pacers shooting, right? 68.9%. This is what I'm looking at here. Let me just make sure it looks good. Yeah, it looks good. So this is what I'm talking about right here. 68.9%. That's a lot of buckets that are assisted on. Okay? And this is the breakdown. You could see like the percentage of the field goals they shoot and how often they is assisted on. Like, look at this. In the paint, 73% of their buckets assisted on. Right corner, what did I tell you? Below the break, see that? 96.9%, 94.7%. If you double these guys, they're going to hit the corner. They're going to hit the elbow. And they're going to get a three. There's no reason to double him. Similar to what I said in the Boston series, why you never want to double Jason Tatum. Just look at the Indiana Pacers like a whole bunch of Tatums. Do not double these guys. Hey, switch that pick and roll. You can bring the help on the dive, man. Okay, but you better make sure your rotation is tight because look at what they're getting. Look at the numbers. Look at the percentages they get. Look. They shooting 48% from the corners, the left corner, 48% from the right corner. You can't double these guys. No reason to. When you look at the Pacers, right? I mean, you look at let me go here. So when you look at the Pacers per game in the playoffs, they have no 20-point scorers. No one on the Pacers average. I didn't get a chance to look it up. I don't think in the history of basketball, a team made it to the finals. I'm going to say the modern era of basketball. And it probably goes back to before the 70s and all of that too. I don't think there's a team that had that had no players average 20 or more go to the finals. I just don't. How does a team like this beat you? Pascal Siakam is their leading scorer with 18.8 points per game. Tyrese Halliburton is averaging 17 and 9. Yes, I take the 9. They don't have no killers here. You cannot double team these guys. And also, the Pacers are the only team, and I literally mean this. They're the only team, and I'm going to show you, where everybody in the rotation can shoot threes. There's not another team. Trust me, I went through them. Even Boston got a Luke Cornett, right? Even, who else? Well, Allen does shoot threes for Cleveland, so maybe if you want to add Cleveland out there. But Allen doesn't get that many threes up. He's not really a threat from out there. But who else? So Cleveland might be the exception, but the Thunder, no. Minnesota, hell no. They're the only team where everybody, if they in that corner, they shooting 48%. So just think about the corner. When you're watching the game, just think about an open corner three. Just know they're shooting 48%. And if the Knicks are losing, that's why. That is why. Okay? What else I want to say here? No 20-point scorers. No reason to double team. Now, they do got a whole bunch of guys that could score, right? And this is one of my concerns. They got a lot of double-digit scorers. By the way, this is not a call-up show. I got people calling up the show. This is not a call-up show. If you want to get on the call-up show, I'm going to do a live tomorrow for the post-game. I'm going to create the link to that, so you'll see that there. But this is not a call-up show, all right? Could you please not call up? I appreciate the call, though, but yeah, this is not a call-up show. Anyway, but yeah, you know, they got a lot of guys that could be heroes for the night, but there's no reason to double these guys. You got to guard these guys straight up. If you got to switch everything, switch everything. I'm going to move to the next reason. We're going to move like we cooking with hot grease now. Okay, cool. So my 8th key is related to the last key. OG Anunoby on Siakam. OG Anunoby on Siakam is a major major key to me because OG, I gave Siakam the edge only because he's an all-star. But realistically, OG be giving Siakam the business. Let me show you what I'm talking about. OG be giving Siakam the business. All right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. OG Anunoby, to me, when you look at that matchup with Siakam, Siakam is his Jason Tatum. Even though he's like a poor man's Jason Tatum. Because Jason Tatum is way more dynamic, way more aggressive, does way more than Siakam. But when you look at, let me see how this looks on your screen. Okay, so perfect. So as you can see here, I got the head-to-head matchup, right? When OG goes up against Pascal Siakam. I like this website. This is a good website, Land of Basketball, right? Okay, cool. OG Anunoby has a 3-2 winning record over Siakam, including a 2-1 playoff record. See that? 2-1 playoff record. Okay. So this is for all my people. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. I said that, you know, because you wanted to bring up last year's team was injured and we took them 7 games. OG Anunoby is the factor to me. He was the key factor last year because he did a great job on Siakam. Let's look at some of these numbers. So stats between them. OG Anunoby's averaging more points when going up the head-to-head with Siakam. Siakam's averaging 15.8. OG Anunoby's averaging 17. Okay? Now, Siakam's getting more boards and assists because he's a first option. So he's going to get more rebounds. OG's not a good rebounder, but he's going to get more assists. OG has one more steal, and they both don't block shots, right? Game highs, OG had his game high against Pascal's 28. Pascal's is 20. That's all Pascal's doing. So OG Anunoby by himself in the matchup can hold him to 20 points. There's no reason to double team Indiana. This is their most dynamic scorer, is Pascal Siakam. He's only averaging 20 points when he goes up against OG Anunoby. Let that sink in. OG has three games where he has more points, right? And he's dominating the matchup. These are the actual games they went head-to-head. May 6th, 2024, Knicks beat the Pacers. This was last year's playoffs, right? May 8th, Knicks beat the Pacers, right? May 19th, this is when OG got hurt. So it really should be 3-0. OG got hurt. OG Anunoby dominates Pascal Siakam. This is this year's regular season. OG only had 14 points, but OG is the fourth option at this time. Pascal Siakam, 12 points. Look at this game here, November 10th. OG Anunoby, 25 points. Pascal Siakam, 14 points. On smash. 38% from the field. On smash. OG Anunoby, he's healthy. He's ready to go. He will cook Siakam. I have no doubt. So when I said, because I knew this was coming, when I did the matchups and I said, yeah, only reason why I give Indiana the Siakam matchup is because he's an all-star. That's the only reason. I'm going to keep it real. That's the only reason. When we actually look at the games, and it wasn't a lot of games, but when we look at the games, OG Anunoby balls out against Siakam. OG on Siakam, we win that matchup. We might win the series in 5 games because he's their best player. I know Halliburton gets the limelight and because he gets the flashy assists. He's the point guard. Siakam's their best player. If Siakam is not rolling, Pacers is cooked because he gives them that guy that they can lean on because sometimes you're not going to get a turnover. Sometimes you're not going to get fast break opportunities. And when the Pacers don't get those opportunities, their offense becomes stagnant. Yes, they can create in the half court. They're a better half court team than I was giving them credit for before I did my research. But they still are just not that good. I'm sorry. They're just not that good. So that's my 8th point. OG on Siakam. Let me get to the 9th point. My ninth point is Karl-Anthony Towns. Saving the best for last. You could guess what my ninth and my 10th point's going to be. But you ain't going to know the angle I'm going. So let me put this on the screen so you guys can see. I'm on the ninth reason. By the way, if you guys just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button as you come in. All right. Karl-Anthony Towns against the Indiana Pacers in his 18 games. He's averaging 27.8 points, 11.1 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. Basically, when Cat sees the Pacers, he sees food. When Cat sees the Pacers, he sees food. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to bowl out of his mind. Now I don't got to deal with the hacking Drew Holiday and then they swarming me and they got all these guys attacking me, right? Not to say that Indiana's not going to double. That'd be a big mistake if they do, because we got a whole lot of shooters just like them. But even though Miles Turner is solid, he gets cooked. Miles Turner cooks the Pacers. Karl-Anthony Towns cooks Miles Turner and the Pacers. Hold on, there's more. There's more. Karl-Anthony Towns matchup with the Pacers. Kaboom. I think we talked about this on the podcast. This year's regular season, once again, no correlation between regular season and playoffs. I got you. I understand. I know. Right? Okay, cool. Hold on. Wait, no, I don't want this browser. You can't see it. Sorry. Let me get this on the screen. Too many browsers, guys. My bad. Too many browsers. I'm on the right browser. Put this on the screen so you guys can see it. Bam. I know there's no direct correlation between regular season and postseason. Okay? I know it. Right? But once again, we use the regular season and the preseason as a guide just to see the way the game is being played. More so the regular season, because preseason is trash. In the regular season this year, Towns is averaging 30, 12, and 1.7 blocks per game on 46.7% shooting from three-point range. Pick and pop all day. Game 1, when we smacked them, I don't even like to even reference that game because I just feel like both teams are better and different. But yeah. So yeah, both of those, that first game was a blowout, and I feel like both teams are way better from there. But in that first game, he really killed. Okay, he really killed the Pacers that game, right? 42. No. Sorry, my bad. He also had February, what do you call it? He had a 42-point game against the Pacers as well. I mean, the Towns, incredible. I also want to put this on the screen, right? Just so I could show you, right, that, okay, well, Towns has good numbers, but what about Miles Turner? Miles Turner, he's a really good defender. Okay, cool. So now we're going to put up the matchup. Right? I love Land of Basketball. This is my new favorite website. Karl-Anthony Towns versus Miles Turner. 11 games played. Okay? No, they didn't play in the playoffs yet. They're going to start playing the playoffs now. Karl-Anthony Towns, one more game, 6-5. Look at what Karl-Anthony Towns is doing to Miles Turner. 28.9 points. 11.8 rebounds. Miles Turner, 14.2 points. Only 4.9 rebounds. Get him out of here. He's not even a poor man's Karl-Anthony Towns. Solid center. Don't want to take no dumps on him. Solid. Very solid. Shoot, I wanted the Knicks to trade for him. That was a long time ago. Relax. Karl-Anthony Towns destroys Miles Turner every time he goes up against him. He's been doing it his whole career. We're not scared over here. Trust me. There's no fear over here. And the Bodega Cat, hold on. Let me get this on the screen. The Bodega Cat. Go get yourself a Bodega Cat shirt. This brother right here. And salute the Daily Knicks. They said that Cat was the most important player coming into the series. I didn't like that because I think everybody's important. I think OG-Anunoby has an important role because he's guarding their best player, right? Cat has an important role because he cooks the Pacers. All he has to do is just do what he does. That's it. Just do what you normally do. That's it, right? Mikal Bridges, mid-range god. Josh Hart, all over the place. Captain, I didn't get the captain yet. Captain, he's my last reason. Captain is my number 10 reason. Okay? My number 10 reason why I think the Knicks will cook the Pacers within 6 games. I'm going to say within 6 games. It could be 5. I'm going to say 6 because I'm objective. But Brunson could be Brunson. Hey, Jalen. Hold on. We gotta give the captain some love, man. The captain, get the captain over here. See that right there, Captain? Man, hold on. You gotta give the captain some love, man. See that right there? This brother right here, Captain 11. This guy right here. I really do believe in my heart, mind, body, and soul that he's going to get back to the numbers that we seen in the Detroit Pistons series. Oh, you forgot? Let me give you a reminder, right? Let me give you a reminder of what he was doing in Detroit. Because like I told you earlier, right? I told you guys that, hold on, just duplicate this tab. I told you guys earlier that the Pacers defense, they all right. You know, it's not bad, but you know, it's not nothing that we ain't seen before. The Pacers ain't doing nothing on defense we ain't seen before. You know, they just got, I didn't want to go there, but they got lucky, man. They played against the Milwaukee Bucks without Dame Lillard. Come on, dude. If Dame Lillard would have played in that playoffs healthy, he's cooking the Pacers. Guaranteed. Yeah, I know the Bucks, they have troubles on defense too. But bottom line is, right, and let me get these playoff numbers up there, right? I'm going to just remind you guys, in case you forgot, okay? In case you forgot, it's right here. Jalen Brunson, and you guys can see it even though it's small, 34, 37, 30, 32. He had the one bad game with 16. Then he had 40. Numbers dropped a little bit, 29, 20, 17, 27. He did have the 39, right? Then 22, 23. Brunson could be Brunson again. The Pacers, they ain't got no hopes. Bro, let me tell you something. With all due respect to Nembhard and all those guys, solid guys, they too small. You see how they say Brunson's too small? No, those guys are too small to guard. You got to be like 6'9" to guard Brunson. If you're not 6'9", you're going to get cooked. I think that should be like the new metric. You got to have somebody like 6'9" to guard Jalen Brunson. You feel what I'm saying? And hold on 1 second. Maxine. Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. Maxine, she's distracted me, guys. It's okay. I'm not supposed to be on this long. I'm going to get to it. All right? So Brunson has to be Brunson. Brunson, he's an assassin. Okay? Now, look. Let me get this on the screen so you guys can see it. So this is when you see. So like people say, oh, you shouldn't use stats. I'm going to say you shouldn't use stats if you don't watch the games. Me, I watch the games, so I'm using the stats to confirm what I'm watching. Does that make sense? If I see something and the stat is showing me that it's saying that, I'm going to rock with the stat. Jalen Brunson has averaged 29.7 points, 5.5 assists, and 2.9 rebounds in 15 games, in his last 15 games versus the Pacers. Okay? That's what he's averaging just last 15 games. Straight cooking them. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? This is what he does on a regular basis. Playoffs and regular season. Period. Brunson is killing the Pacers. Now, I know some of the negative Nancy's are going to say, well, on the regular season this year, Brunson only averaged 23 and 22 and 7 assists and 4.3 rebounds in the 3 matchups against the Pacers. So, oh, he's down, so it might translate to the playoffs. No. First of all, we won those games, and in those games, Towns was the number 1 option. See, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. You got to watch basketball. How many of you guys remember that there was a big controversy where Brunson was like, oh, I got to figure out how to get Cat the ball. And you don't remember how Brunson started passing the ball, coming off the shot, featuring Cat more? That's what happened. It's not because Brunson could only get 22 points, because he was trying to figure out at that time, how do I get my shot and get the other guys rolling? Right. So hold on. And now, let me see if I could do this. Hold on. See if I could do this. Don't got it here. I'm just going to, so we got the last 15 games. During the 2024 Eastern Conference semifinals, this is last year's playoffs against this same team, Brunson elevated his performance, averaging 31.8 points over the 7-game series. Notably, he scored 43 points in Game 1 and 44 points in Game 5. That right there. And you know the scary part? We got Bridges. We got OG. We got Josh Hart. Brunson don't even have to get 40. He could just stick in his 29. And the other guys, he's bringing the other guys with him. So Brunson could be Brunson again. We don't have to worry about Drew Holiday, top 5 two-way point guard all time. We don't have to worry about Derek White and his annoying self. We don't have to worry about none of those guys that Boston have. Those guys are gone. We beat them. There's only one defense in the playoffs that's scary, and it's them brothers in OKC. But we'll deal with that when we get there. Right now, Pacers, they ain't got nothing for us. By the way, salute to Tendril. Oh, man. Yo, salute to Tendril, man. I appreciate you becoming a member, man. Salute to everybody that's joined the membership. Tendril, I'm going to post a welcome packet after the show in the members only section. I do appreciate that. And to anybody else that joins after this show, I do appreciate you guys. I will shout you guys out. Salute to Yuri in the building, man. I see you got cheered in Yankee Stadium. Man said that was overwhelming. Fact. When was that? That was this year? Because I know he was there last year too. Imagine if he wins a chip for New York. Ooh. I'm taking it one day at a time, guys. I'm taking it one day at a time. But salute to you, Tendra. I do appreciate the support. I appreciate all you guys who support. Even to the guys who's watching, just make sure you guys smash that like button. If anything, so that way we could get more Knicks fans in. And I guess this is like the best of both worlds. I get to satisfy the members so the members could chat, and then also you guys get to watch it and get to watch the replay as well. So it's not just a member-only content locked off. Keith Rocket said OG felt he was overlooked in Toronto for Siakam. He wants to cook him every game. Facts. I'm riding with that, Keith. I'm riding with that, man. See what else you guys talking about before on the way out. So I'm not sure what the timestamp is because I wasn't recording the whole time. This video is a little longer than I wanted it to be, but that's okay. It's good content, so they'll watch it. They want to watch it, they watch it. They don't want to watch it, they don't need to watch it. Ooh, Knicks will be chance says Precious is an X factor. I want to say so. I just don't think Tibbs is going to play him because Indiana doesn't have the size like that, right? So they don't got the 2 7-footers on the floor. I don't even think they got a 7-footer. Hold on. I don't even think the Pacers got a 7-footer on their team. Because Miles Turner is 6'11". Okay. Miles Turner is 6'11". And Thomas Bryant is the other big guy. Hold on. I think he's like 6'10". Hold on. Yeah, Thomas Bryant 6'10". They don't got a 7-footer on the team. So of course, we don't want injuries to happen. God forbid injuries happen. Then, yeah, Precious Achiuwa could get he could get the light, I guess. But I don't think you need Precious Achiuwa for this series. I don't think you need him. You needed him in the last series. Some of my concerns on the way out, Pacers are a better team than last year. I said that multiple times. They got 3 more wins than they did last season, right? That Pacers team was good last season, too. They won 47 games. And of course, they had the benefit of beating injured teams. They beat Milwaukee last year, right? They beat us injured. So they've been the survival of the fit. They've been benefiting the survival of the fit narrative. And I think that is going to catch up to them again because once you get to that conference semis, it's just a whole different level. But they are better, right? They are better. What else I say here? Can't read my own handwriting. You guys have to, I don't know what I said. I'm just going to skip it. And then, here's another concern. They are a good playoff road team. They got the same wins we got. They didn't get them all in a row, but they do got 5 road wins. I think us and them might have the most road wins. I'm not sure about OKC. But they also got 5 road wins. Now, granted, I think our 5 road wins are more impressive because we won 2 in the mighty, mighty TD Garden, Boston Celtics. Remember, the Pacers didn't win any games last year. They didn't win not one game last year. Just saying. So I think I'm going to weigh our TD experience a little better, our away experience a little bit better. But that is a concern. You know, we got to get game 1. And I forgot to mention this in the history, but the team that has won game 1 in the series between the Knicks and Pacers have won 7 out of 8 times. Only last year was different because we got hurt. We should have won last year. Nonetheless, game 1 is an important game, and I think we're going to get game 1. I don't think the Knicks are going to play around with these guys. And, of course, three-point defense is always a concern, but our defense has been better even though the defending champions did shoot 37% against us in the playoffs. I mean, of course, they had extreme games. They had the first 2 games, they shot 20%. Then they had the other games where they shot, above 40%. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. But Indiana, if you're giving them open threes, they're going to make it. If it's one thing we know about Indiana, they're going to make the open 3. Yes, indeedy. So that's my concerns. But, the Knicks have been doing a good job defending the 3-ball. And let me see what the Pacers is doing in the playoffs again. The Pacers in the postseason, they're shooting 40%. So, yeah. But the defenses they're going up against, they're not going up against good defense. Cleveland, yes, they're great. Overall, they're a good defensive team, but they don't defend the perimeter well. Right? They don't. The pick and roll attack was giving them so much trouble, Cleveland. They had no answers for it. I think we're going to be a little bit more better because we got Wingstop, and I believe in Wingspot. Precious could guard Siakam or Miles. Well, you got Mitchell Robinson for Miles. Well, no, you got Towns for Miles. We've seen what Towns did to Miles. So I think that's going to continue. I'm cool with Towns on Miles Turner. Just give me that. Win your matchup. And for Siakam is OG all day. OG's playing 40 minutes a game. Hold on. But in the postseason, got it right here. In the postseason, OG Anunoby, he's averaging he's averaging 40 minutes a game. I think he's leading the team, right? Yeah. He's the only one playing 40 minutes, by the way. To all Coach Tiz plays everybody 40 minutes. OG's the only one getting 40. Now, the others got 39, which is close to 40. But I'm just saying. People just be talking, bro. They just be talking. They don't know what they're talking about. But Knicks would be chance. I get your logic. It's not a bad idea. I think it's a good idea. I wouldn't have a problem with Precious getting minutes. I just don't see him getting no minutes because they don't got the size. But I think I hit everything on the nail, y'all. These are my 10 reasons, man. Brunson could be Brunson. Just to give a final review recap. Where's my list at? Don't know. Disappeared somewhere. That sucks. No problem. I got it on the computer. So these are just to wrap up 10 reasons why I think the Knicks will win. History, right? I think it's going to repeat itself. The 94, I think there's a lot of similarities between us and the 94 team. Not a direct carbon copy, but I think there's a lot of similarities. The second reason, I don't think the Knicks are going to let the other guys beat them. Part of that would be what the other key is, which is, no double teams ever. But the third reason is dominating the rebounding matchup. The Knicks have dominated the rebounding matchup in the regular season, and I think that that's a trend that's going to continue. The Pacers, they struggle against teams when they get 33 rebounds or more, 43 rebounds or more. They have a 31-26 record. The Knicks average 43 rebounds against the Pacers in the regular season. The Knicks are averaging 43 rebounds in the playoffs. I mean, to all my numbers guys out there. Oh, I'm sorry to my man, who was the HR and the Great, the 26 years. I said I was going to quote it. He said that 26 years from 1973 was 99, and now it resets. Another 26 years from 99 to 2025 is when we get back to the finals. I don't know if that's the direct correlation, but I think it's going to work. And then, of course, controlling the pace. I went through pace. I explained what pace is because I don't think a lot of people understand what pace is. They think pace is fast breaks. That's not pace. Offense is your best defense. Yes, it's your best defense. Efficient offense. Don't turn over the ball. Don't give them opportunities to run. The Pacers want to run off turnovers and misses. Okay? The Pacers defense is all right. Their defense is all right. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. You know, it's just as good as ours was, you know, in the regular season. I mean, we've improved our defense in the playoffs, but it's all right. You know, I'm not gonna say the Pacers are slouches. They definitely got good defenders, but I think Brunson could be Brunson, and I think Cat is going to be Cat for sure. Okay, no double teams ever. I told you guys below the break threes, they're shooting 48.9%. Leave those guys open. That's where the ball's going every time. Elbow threes, below the break threes, they're gonna kill you every day. OG on Siakam, I just showed you. OG Anunoby is dominating Pascal Siakam, dominating him. I mean, man, it's like OG's the better player. I'm gonna keep it real. If you just look at those 5 games and you watch the games like I watched the games, you would think OG's better. Period. Siakam has more of the accolades, but it is what it is. And Towns he just owns the Pacers. I mean, even before he was with the Knicks, he just kills Miles Turner. I mean, it's food. And then the 10th reason is Brunson could be Brunson again. Last year's captain. I expect him to make an appearance. Maybe not all games because we got so much offense, but I think Brunson will be very confident. If the games get tricky, JB was there. Oh, another concern too, and I think that's what was on my note, and I ended on this. Another concern is the Pacers have comeback ability. This Cavaliers series and the Celtics series very similar, man. They came back in game 2, right? From a big deficit, from a 20-point deficit. We came back from 2 20-point deficits in game 1 and 2, right? So they're a team that could come back. Halliburton out of nowhere he'll hit 4 threes from 28 feet out of nowhere. He could have 0 points, 2 assists out of nowhere. He's going to hit 4 threes from. You got to watch that. Not saying he's going to do that. I'm just saying you have to watch that. Okay. And notice how defense on Halley was not one of my keys. Knicks may have to win 2 games in Indy. Here's what my goal is, right? I know I'm not the Knicks, or I'm not the coach of the Knicks, and I'm gonna answer this and I'm gonna get up out of here. Here's what my goal would be. If I'm the favorite team, I want both games at home. Got to get both games at home. Worst case scenario, if you got to win game 1. Because the teams that win game 1 of a series have a 75% chance of winning the series. So you want to make sure you get game 1. If you drop game 2, you got to get game 3. Because the team that wins game 3, also that odds improve a little bit. I think it's 75.9% if you win games 3, right, of the series. So now you got a 2-1 lead. You get your home court back. So now if you lose game 4, it's still 2-2. Now you go home. And then game 5 is a must win. So if I can go up 3-1, I want to go up 3-2 and keep my home court. That's just my strategy. That's just what I think. I think that's what the Knicks should gun for. Got to get game 1. If you lose game 2, it's not the end of the world. But then you got to get game 3. So, and I think this Knicks team is very resilient. But yo, I want to thank all the members for supporting the show, man. I appreciate you guys, and all of you guys watching as well who hit the like button. I appreciate you guys for checking this out. This is the 10 reasons why I think the Knicks will beat the Pacers. And I'm very confident, not overconfident, but very confident. I want to give a big time salute. The Knicks will be champs 25-26. Keith Watkins, Tendril for becoming a new member. I say Keith, did I say Keith? My man Keith. Yuri, right? Channel Mod. I see you. That Channel Mod, blue wrench and badge looks really good on Yuri. Salute to you, man. Knicks will be champs, same thing. Channel Mod. Knicks Tape Madness Discord server, channel member, salute to you. Knicks will be champs. I appreciate your support. You are a top 5 mod in the Knicks community. I rock with you. Knicks will be champs. Who else came through? Of course, the great Maxine distracted me on the live show. Crazy stuff. And yes, I will end the show. Unlike I did last time, I stayed on. So it was crazy. I didn't realize I was still on. Salute to the great HRM, the great, who, by the way, was pretty much hitting me up, letting me know I still was on live last time. Salute to HRM the Great. I do appreciate you, HRM the Great. And of course, J Tap from BK to Cali. Salute to you. I appreciate you, J Tap, and all your support. My man Sam, Channel Mod, Mixtape Madness Discord server. I appreciate you. Coach made an appearance. Salute the coach as well. Thank you guys for rocking with me. That's all I got for you today. And until next time, let's go Knicks, and Knicks in 5 or 6. All right.